Welcome to Landsmeet, my very experimental, interview-based Dragon Age podcast where I bring on new guests every episode and we talk about Dragon Age. Today I am very excitedly joined with John from Skyrionn. John, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm very good. Thank you for inviting me on. It's nice to be on a podcast about one of my favorite games, basically.
Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate talking to you. For those who don't know, Skyrionn, I'm trying to call him John. John is a YouTube content creator who talks a lot about lore. And I think I saw 2 of your Dragon Age lore videos a couple of months ago and I just loved it. And I was like, all right, I have to talk to this guy and just talk to you about Dragon Age and your love for it and just explore those things. Because, you know, in my years of YouTube, I have not actually met or spoke with properly someone else who is from the UK and who talks about Dragon Age. I gotta ask, which part of the UK are you from, if you don't mind me telling me?
I'm from the West, so I'm from Wales.
Hey!
So very, very Welsh. North Wales. Yeah, I do wear my Welshness as kind of a badge of pride. I live in England now.
Right.
Near Liverpool, so I've lived here for about 10 years now, so my accent is kind of blended with kind of a Scouse accent.
Right.
Kind of an odd blend. Like, I had a comment on one of my videos a couple of days ago, and I think the comment just said Scouser alert, and I thought, that's rude. No, like, that's what happens like when you move to new places, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
And with North Wales, I'm from a town near the border. And so, like, Liverpool is quite commonly referenced with, you know, North Wales anyway. So it's kind of a blend of that. Yeah.
A good merge of the two. Yeah. I am from the northeast, but people who know English will be like, oh yeah, I can hear like they can hear like the Teesside in me. But if you're not like colloquially in Yorkshire or North Yorkshire, you will not know what Teesside is. So I think I've kind of got a non-distinct accent. But I think if you are from this area, you'll be like, oh yeah, I can tell he lives in Teesside. I don't want to dox myself too much, but because Teesside is very small. But no, I absolutely love British accents.
Just when we first started talking on Twitter, I think one of my first questions was, I'm trying to, because I watched a couple of your videos, because I was looking to see who else did Dragon Age content.
Yeah.
And I could hear your voice, and I was just thinking, I really can't place it. And I thought you were Geordie.
The Geordie? Well, you know what? I'll take that because my mum is a Geordie and I live in between York and Newcastle, so you know what? I will take being a Geordie. A lot of people say that I sound like the guy from the new Asda advert. A lot of people say I sound like Sam from Mass Effect Andromeda. Some people think I sound like Sebastian, who is Scottish in Dragon Age 2. I don't personally hear it. And then some of us think I sound German. I don't get that, but yeah, German for some, just a northeast Brit. But no, I think I do try to adapt my voice just to sound, well, as regular as possible because the northeast accent can be quite brutal, especially for the American audience out there. Something I've got to ask John, what is your opinion on Heinz beans?
You know what? I think this might be quite controversial.
Oh no.
So, I'm a massive foodie. I'm going through a healthy spree at the moment, but when it comes to things like beans, like I don't taste the difference between, you know, like a 39p of Asda beans or
really?
So I'll eat anything. Like the best thing. What do you have for your beans?
Me, anything. I'll have beans and chips, beans. I was just talking on my Discord. Then I'll have beans and macaroni and cheese. I'll have beans pizza. I'll have beans and anything. I will have beans smothered in. Bread, toast, sandwiches. I love the Greggs sausage, bean, and cheese melt. It's fantastic.
Yeah, you can't beat a Greggs, can you?
You can't.
I don't know if that's just a British thing, but every British person's passionate about Greggs.
Oh, you have to be. You're not British. So to be fair though, there are no Greggs in Cornwall. So sorry to all the Cornwall people out there who listen to Dragon Age and like Greggs. I don't know what I would do if I was living in Cornwall with no Greggs. I would cease to exist.
It's like not having a Wetherspoons, isn't it?
It is, yes. Well, this is why, guys, I invited John on because I've never talked to a Brit on my podcast before. This is so cool. But no, we are going to talk about Dragon Age because obviously this is a Dragon Age podcast. So, John, hitting us off with a question I ask every single guest in any capacity, big or small. What does Dragon Age mean to you?
You know, Dragon Age, it was one of those games that I came off the back of Fable and I saw Dragon Age and I saw Fableism in it. And it was about the choices you could make, the companions. Although Fable doesn't have the capacity for companions, but you get to meet these people, learn their stories and make these decisions that make huge changes to the world. Like, I remember when the first trailer came out for Dragon Age Origins,
Right.
and I think I was in high school at that point. And I saw you could do, the mage, you could do the elven, you could pick if you go for the rich ones, the poor ones. And it was just the diversity, and you could kind of pick the one that kind of connected with you the most. I think first off, it was great to kind of see yourself in a character. So for me, it was a mage character in the circle. And then you meet all these people, you get to romance who you want. And I guess, yeah, it's just a diversity. You meet such a wide range of cast characters.
Yeah.
And yeah, just interesting to see like their struggles and learn about them. And it was one of those games where, you see like this game changed like the way games were made,
Yes,
wasn't
for
it?
sure.
Because it opened up that dialogue option. It allowed you, the player, to feel the power, the impact of making changes to the world. So yeah, I see it as putting yourself in the game, but also like a groundbreaking game that made waves in the video game industry.
For sure. No, I agree to that. And I relate to it too. I love the real life influences that Dragon Age has. It doesn't shy away from them, whereas kind
No.
of most games are about escapism and they're about all, escaping into fantasy and doing whatever you want. And that is great. And it's obviously fantastic to have those games too. But Dragon Age doesn't shy away from making a statement about certain things, talking about certain topics. It actually puts it at its forecenter and fully explores it. And that's one of the things that I latch on to as well, just
Yeah.
you look at the Templars and the Mages, and I believe David Gader said that actually the Mages represent, someone who has complete power, but they're unaware of it, which is essentially an innuendo for gun control. How do
Oh.
you deal with someone who has the ability to kill everybody without realizing it? And and then you've got the Templar Order, which is kind of representation of the corrupt police. Who do you side with? Do you side with, all these little political innuendos, but they're given this kind of easy fantasy context to understand with, and I love that too, because I mean, as a Brit, we don't really talk much about gun control. We don't really explore that in our own politics because we don't have guns. Well, unless you're in the police or you're in the special forces. But so so I think it's interesting to see that side and those different point of views, not to kind of force it or anyone or to agree with it, but to have a conversation about it. It's a great conversation starter, I think.
I hadn't even thought about that. But yeah, I think, as you said, as we're Brits, we don't really see the control issue in
Yeah.
our country because it's not an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And you mentioned the Templars and the mages. Like, as I've said, I always play as a mage.
Right.
But again, it's that power they have. And if they fall too far into it, they can, turn into something quite nasty and evil if they fall to temptation. And so, although the Templars, in my mind, I think many others are seen as like the bad guys, you understand that there is a
Yes.
need for them. They're there
Absolutely.
to govern the mages of the circles, and you understand why the circles exist. Like,
Absolutely.
the mages feel oppressed, but if they weren't monitored, all hell could break loose. Like, what's happening with Solus, he's got this ultimate power, and he's kind of, because he's that powerful, he's got free reign to kind of do what he wants in the later games.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you see this black and white thing, but there's so many gray areas, and the
Absolutely.
fact that it translates into the real world. Like, from what I understand about gun control, I'm not an expert.
Yeah, same.
Is anybody can buy a gun in America, and it's such a huge political thing, isn't it? Every year about their right to have weapons. I remember years ago seeing an interview between Piers Morgan and Alex Jones, I think his name
Yes,
is.
Alex Jones, yeah.
And it was such a heated discussion, and they were both like very passionate about it. But back to Dragon Age, you can see why each order exists, and they kind of balance each other out. And then obviously in Dragon Age 2, it all goes to shit, doesn't it?
Yeah. And you even see kind of the opposing side of the Templars with Cullen in some cases, and I think more in Inquisition, he's a good Templar. He's a great man. You don't relate to him. You can confide in him, even if you are a mage. And then you do see the opposite of that with Meredith, who is just crazy, overpowered. Obviously has been blighted with Red Lyrium, but still she's gone for her own measures to be a corrupt Templar.
Speaking of parallels, I can imagine that red lyrium may have, a similar effect to alcohol.
Yeah.
You have these kind of thoughts and things you wouldn't normally do unless you're intoxicated, and then some people do these things, and that's the way I saw red lyrium, because she must have had some sort of hatred towards the mages, and the red lyrium just kind of, boosted that.
It's just boosted what she was already feeling, and also she's gone out of her own way to keep that around and make a sword out of it. And that's the thing about lyrium. It does need to be either ingested or you need to be close to it constantly. It's not like, oh, you did it once and that's it. Like it's something that's repeated.
Yeah,
But
this
no,
is deeper than I thought it'd be.
I know, I love it. And that's why I do get irked when people say, I don't want politics in Dragon Age 4. Like, no, the politics of Dragon Age is what makes it interesting. It's what
I don't
makes
think
us,
you could do Dragon Age without politics.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Like,
I don't think you can make any game about politics, to be honest, because everybody has their own background, their own story, their own political stance, wherever you're raised, where you're from. There are so many things that determine what is political. It's kind of ironic to say I don't want politics in my games when if it wouldn't exist without politics. You know, it's political in nature.
yeah, how can you create all of these different races without them having their own religion and politics? Like, for example, we look at Ferelden and where the games are set, and it's a very, mages are oppressed. We understand why. That's the politics of the world. But then when we think of places like Tevinter, which are mage ruled,
Yeah.
that's what I'm excited about when
Absolutely.
we do see it in Dragon Age 4, because we're going to see the other side. We're going to see, the world completely fueled by magic.
Yeah.
And it'll be so exciting to see, and you can't have that without politics, because then I don't even know how to explain it. You need politics, like the horrible treatment of the elves. It fits a parallel perfectly, and the alienages in the towns, like you see how the humans kind of despise them. It's one of those things. You need politics to add some realism to the game, to be invested in the characters.
Absolutely.
They have their own thoughts and beliefs, and how can someone be so unique and individual if they don't follow their own political structure or, religion?
Yeah, they don't have something to believe in. Like, it would be completely redundant if Solas just wanted to return to the era of the elves because he just wants to. No, he has a reason. He has his own belief, his own core values, why he breaks up with Llewellyn, because of everything that means so much to him, because of his own political background, because of so many things that determined. If he just wanted to do it for the sake of doing it or to be apolitical, there'd be no point to it. But it's his entire belief system that makes his character and makes us go, oh no, he broke up with my Llewellyn, but shit, he's such a good character, he's such a well-developed good character, and I understand why he wants to do it. Without that,
the players will see their own political values in these characters as well, which will help them make their decisions, where they can connect to the characters.
Absolutely. And I can relate to that in so many cases. And that's what defines Dragon Age. And I think when people are like, there's a limit where they're like, I don't want to see Donald Trump in Tevinter. I don't want to see this Magister who's like Donald Trump. So you're not going to get that. It's not going to be that obvious. It never has been. That's just people being stupid online. Whereas, Tevinter is already like a politically fueled country. We've got slavery. We've got a social class system. We've got we've got the majocracy and the fact that it is run by mages, and the Templars literally do nothing. We've got this entire different society that is based on politics and the politics that the other countries don't have, and that's what's exciting. As much as the magic and the gameplay and the conversations that we're going to have in the game, the entire dynamic and the society and just living in that world and breathing and just seeing it is what's exciting. I think is being like, oh wow, that's an Altus mage who's the top of the rank, whereas these are the Soparati people who are just sleepers who don't have any magic, and seeing how they're reacted to compared to how we've seen it in the previous games. It's going to be so exciting, and that's. So it defines Dragon Age, and it always has. And
the thing is, it makes the world feel real.
Yeah.
It's not real, obviously, because it's a fantasy game.
Yeah.
But BioWare are very good at that. For example, Mass Effect, it's the same thing. There's a class system, different races have special treatments on different planets, and without these parallels to our world, it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't have realism. Like for example, I love Fable.
Yeah.
But you don't see these political things in there,
right?
To the extent that we do in Dragon Age. And if they added something like this, it'd be great. It'd be better. Yeah. Just for example, Fable 3, we saw the one kingdom of Albion, and we saw how it was run. It's very British.
Yeah.
Just one governing family, and you could see the Britishisms in there. Yeah. But we know there are other lands like Samarkand and other places, but we don't hear about their royalty except in additional books, which you have to go and search for. So you can see how with Dragon Age, with them adding these, not like full on, like they're not going to put Donald Trump in there, but they're
No.
going to add certain factors of that into it and then make it as realistic as possible. They're not going to target somebody.
No.
They're just going to add these real world things, parts of it, and just make the world feel more real. And that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And yeah, that's you're not going to have a magister who's going to speak like Donald Trump and go like, guns are cool, whatever. It's going to be contextualized if they go down that route, and it's going to make sense. And I mean, you could make a parallel to Corypheus. You could make a parallel to Erimund of Ranti and the Magister in Dragon Age Inquisition, who just wants to summon a demon and kill people. You can make parallels with so many other things, dealing with demons and stitching up the Grey Wardens. That could be a parallel for some politician that you could try and make political, but it's not as obvious as that because it's Dragon Age and the writers are clever and smart and they're not out to hurt anybody's political views. They're out to kind of just make a good story that's understandable and that multiple people can look at and go, I disagree, I agree with that, but it's having that friendly place where they can explore it fully and just, tell a believable, incredible story.
The way Dragon Age Inquisition ended, like this is going to be an incredible story, like the Fade. We're going to learn more about the Fade, hopefully, and how Solus messing with it will, affect the world. It's going to be absolutely incredible. I can't even... did we get Dragon Age Inquisition?
2014.
It's been a while.
It's 2022 now. So what? 6, 7, 8 years. It's just turned 2022, so it's still 7 years because it came out in November. But it'll be coming 8 years this year.
Just imagine how great this game's going to look as well.
Oh yes, on Frostbite, with them finally utilizing it well, it's going to be beautiful. I mean,
it absolutely will be.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. But speaking of which, what is something that you would like to see in the next game?
I think I've touched on it slightly. The Magocracy, just seeing how those without magic are treated in a magical society. I think we've kind of seen it in, Harry Potter, where people are called mudbloods for, not having magic parents, and you've got squibs who are kind of looked down upon and kind of pitied. So I can imagine it being something like that in Tevinter, where we kind of see what happens to those that are not blessed with magical abilities. So I'm very excited to see how they deal with that. I say that because I always play as a mage-based character.
Right.
Like seeing the magic spells, seeing how you can like protect your team, give them boosts, surrounding spells, just anything really. So I'm very excited to see the combat surrounding magic, but also how it's used in the world around you.
Absolutely. As exciting as it is to use spells and all that stuff, it's more the society aspect of it, really, like the conversations you're going to have. It's going to be interesting playing as a warrior and a rogue as well, and seeing how they react, how different NPCs react to you in Tevinter when you don't have those magical abilities, and how they speak to you when you actually are a mage compared to that. Because it normally has been the other way around, where, oh, you're a mage, you're an apostate, you're this, you're that. Whereas now, it might be like, oh, you're cool, we like you, you're a mage, you're welcome here. And it's like, oh, rogues, warriors, get lost. Or even Qunari, we don't want you here. So it's going to be really interesting to see that dynamic.
Yeah, so it's just going to be really, really interesting. I'm glad they've gone in this direction as well. You learn more about, the Tevinter, the government, and, from what we've seen, I think, if my memory's correct, Dorian is a part of it, or was a part of it. And just the way he spoke about them, and I don't know, we've only seen the negative parts of Tevinter.
Yes.
The way they've been portrayed. They've been portrayed as, the bad guys, the evil. But that's because we've been playing the game in Ferelden. They will automatically be demonized because they're associated with magic. Yeah. So they're only going to look for the negatives. So when we do finally visit Tevinter, we'll see the good of the world as well. We'll see how positive magic can be and how it's not looked down upon. And I'm excited to see the other side. And we may see that they look down upon those from Ferelden, and they'll have the same opinion of Ferelden. It's just going to be interesting to see the politics and the worldview, and again, just to see how the world functions with magic. Like, I'm envisioning like lampposts lit with magic. It's going to be fantastic. And I guess BioWare have got a challenge on their hands, because with it being in such a vastly different area of the world, as well as a different political system, their level design, their world design, is going to have to be it's going to challenge them definitely to make it distinctly different than what we've seen already.
Yeah, I agree to that. Already, the initial concept shots of Tevinter and Raphis looked all cyberpunky, and it looked, the cyberpunk like lit thing. That trailer at the Game Awards where we saw shots of Raphis and it was all cyberpunky dark and it was lit with lanterns. Already looks fantastic. And I think there's a dialogue where Varric asks Dorian if he's ever been to Kirkwall, and Dorian just straight up goes, "Yeah, once. It was a shithole." And I can understand now why Dorian has that like that opinion of the South, because when we saw that initial few shots of Tevinter, it looks absolutely surreal, like absolutely beautiful,
Yeah.
dark, you know, enigmatic, but beautiful, and cyberpunky with this kind of magic twist, but
Yeah.
just looks, it's surreal, an actual city for once. We may be going to, I don't want to, you know, make bold statements or, you know, expectations, but it seems like we're going to actually be going to a proper city in a Dragon Age game. I think Denerim was really great that we had in Origins, but it was very much, you know, the game couldn't load up
Bit
because
limited,
obviously
wasn't it?
yeah, it was very limited. It was amazing. It was great. But obviously that was 2008. Whereas now, and hopefully in 2022, 2023, whenever the game comes out, with these next-gen capabilities, it hopefully we're going to have some sort of city hub to explore. It's going to be
Yeah.
a good change for Dragon Age, I think.
I'm hoping, like as you said, Denerim was great
Yeah.
and Kirkwall was great, but
Yeah, absolutely.
my immersion breaking thing was they were all restricted to small areas and
Yeah.
there were loading screens to get to them.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
Dragon Age 2 did really well with Kirkwall because we saw different
Yeah.
sides of it. But what I want to see is natural time progression in locations.
Oh, yes. That would be fantastic.
You can see the sunset and get those stunning shots of the sky, and you can see like kind of, you know, like Oblivion, or the best city I've ever been to in a video game is Witcher 3.
Oh, yes. Novigrad?
Yeah, Novigrad. And you can see like people do their own thing, and
Yeah.
that's what I kind of hope for in Dragon Age 4, and I guess just make the world feel more alive. Yeah, so that's going to be really interesting to see. But yeah, even from a content creator kind of side, the idea of getting a free cam and like getting some stunning shots of the people wandering the markets, doing some, you know, out of focus shots of just the character in the blurry background, and yeah, I'm very excited for that part as well.
Absolutely, yeah, the beautiful visuals that are actually going to be accomplished with this game, because it hopefully will look stunning and crisp with the Frostbite engine, and yeah, it's going to be exciting being a creator when we do get our hands on mods and free cam stuff. Speaking of being a creator, how have you found being a creator in the Dragon Age space?
So I've done 2 videos so far.
Yeah.
So basically, I think I'm mostly well known for Half-Life content now.
Right.
But back in the day, I did a lot of Fable, and I was trying to find my next direction. So I went into Dragon Age because I was a fan of the world. I loved. I think I've read the first 3 books so far, and I loved David Gaida.
Yeah. Gaida, yeah.
His view for the world. And so I dove into it. So the fan base is absolutely so welcoming.
Yeah,
It's one of the nicest fan bases I've come across so far.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Like they're so welcoming. And so I've loved that. And it's just very supportive, really. I'm hoping to come back to Dragon Age when I quit my job. More time to work on it. But as you understand, it's a task juggling 9 to 5 and, you know, getting home and doing the research, putting the videos together and posting, promoting, interacting, feeling like it's a full-on job in itself.
It is. I you know, and as much as I love people who watch my videos and I appreciate it when they're like, Jack, we haven't made a video in 3 weeks. I'm like, there's always a reason for that. And I'm sorry that, you know, but this, you know, the past this year for me has been so busy. I've moved out to my own apartment. I've just been getting furniture, building furniture. I have 2 bedrooms, so I'm furnishing 2 bedrooms as well as a studio, which is in the second bedroom. It's not like I've got a third. But so your time just disappears, as well as working 9 to 5. So I know I've only released three videos this year, but it's just being swept up in everything that's going on with life. And just forgetting, not forgetting, just having other priorities. And
it's one of those things as well. You feel the pressure to post and
you do.
to let people know you're still active.
Yeah.
And what I found this year is I'd automatically think, what's easy to put together? What's an easy topic to research, and what's simple to put out?
Yeah.
And then I think back to, no, this isn't really why I'm doing this. I'm doing it because I'm passionate about these games.
Yeah.
So I think I started with doing 2 episodes a week. and then I've had to reduce to one episode a week just so I'm still putting out quality content.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I'm busy, I'll just put something out that I'm not too proud of, which I've stopped doing
Yeah,
because
for sure.
it's
Yeah.
not really what I want to do. I want to, make good content and be known for it.
Quality over quantity, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
putting the best out there, because whenever you put one of those, yeah, like from speaking from experience, when you have a bad video that goes out and you just like, like I could have done more, I could have done better, and you're like, there's that feeling of but at the same time, like for me, sometimes like, there's an algorithm you got to abide by. You got to post a certain date, a certain time, and
I'm still figuring that out. Like
yeah.
YouTube it's not like an easy thing to understand, is it?
No, it changes all the time as well. Certain thumbnails used to work last year, they don't work this year. It's
Yeah,
constantly changing.
figuring that out. And the worst part about it is when you go onto your YouTube Studio app and it tells you how a video is done in comparison to the last 10, and you
Yeah,
see it's like falling like to 6 or 7, you're like, oh shit.
yeah, and that might not be a reflection of you. It could be the time. It could be like you could have made the best piece of best video ever, but you might have just released it at a bad time, or something
Yeah.
else came out that people are talking about. Like obviously Dragon Age isn't huge at the moment. It's decent enough, but there are so many games coming out this year that I wouldn't be surprised if my videos are swept to the side, because Elden Ring, Horizon, God of War, Ragnarok, Starfield, so many games that fit into what a Dragon Age player would play, being bold RPGs, they'll probably be playing that. So Dragon Age is going to be sidestepped until we do get news, or we do get more content, or we do get something from BioWare that's exciting and it gets people going.
Yeah, the best part about us, well, you mostly doing Dragon Age at the moment, is you're getting this huge backlog of content. And so when new information is dropped, then your channel is probably one of the first that pops up as well.
Yeah. When people are actually then getting interested in Dragon Age, it's like, okay, I want to get Dragon Age lore. What can I check? Or I want to get the latest news update. What do I check? And it is good. And I think another thing about creators right now in this space is the fact that we are creators right now is great, because people will forget about Dragon Age. Or I get comments all the time, thank you for creating this video, because honestly I forgot that Dragon Age existed, or I'm forgetting about Dragon Age, or I forgot this lore. Thank you for creating this video, because you're just keeping my interest alive. It's keeping that excitement going. Excitement might be the wrong word, because I don't want you do want to go with the right expectations. Obviously excitement's great, but then it's when it's too hyped. You don't want to be too hyped, because you'll never be satisfied, but it's having that right, that right atmosphere and that right mood going into the next game. Keeping your expectations, I would say, optimistic but also cautious. Yeah, no, it's at least building a community while we wait for the next game, which is something that it's my brand at the moment, just wearing a tinfoil hat and patiently waiting until we get news to dissect,
I think I was, or maybe I'm not sure, one of the bigger Fable creators.
Right.
And I think I covered nearly everything I could with Fable.
Yeah.
And that has got to the point where I'm running out of content.
Right.
And it's not big at the moment, which I understand, but I know that when more Fable information comes out, like everybody's going to jump on it. When the Fable trailer dropped, I think it was a couple of years ago now, everybody went crazy for it. And my channel took a nice boost there. Sure, you get the same comment, thank you for keeping the community alive. It's such a nice comment to be recognized for like what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to keep the channel kind of going until more Fable information comes out, which is why I've been searching for games fairly similar to the one Fable people will play. And so Dragon Age is, one of them.
It's perfect.
Half-Life is not in the same category, but I'm passionate about that game. I don't know if you've ever played it.
I know all about it, but I never played it. Studied it a lot when I was in journalism, but never played it.
That's my biggest series at the moment. I'm very happy about it. I've moved on to Fallout, but again, when I quit my job, I'm in negotiations at the moment with that.
So will you be a full-time content creator when you quit your job?
Well, that's the thing. That's the plan. Basically, today, I had a chat with my boss, and I told my boss I need to leave by this date.
Right.
And it automatically turned into, oh, can you do 3 days then instead? And so, because, YouTube's great, it doesn't pay great without promotional things.
Yes.
Which I'm on the track. Like, I've been offered a few things, but, it's just not right for the channel. So it's, do I do a few months where I kind of struggle a little bit and have to give up my Disney Plus, or
Yeah. Yeah.
or do I stay with the company for a bit longer?
Yeah.
Like I've got savings, but it's that safety blanket, isn't it? And it's like if
Yes.
you
Yeah.
just quit, so it's deciding whether is the right time, and I think it is. It's one of those things, but with having this as a full-time opportunity, you can do so many more videos, so much more
Yeah.
content,
Yeah.
do deep dives, video essays, and there's
Yeah.
so many opportunities. Like I think everybody loves a good 1.5 hour to 5 hour video essay about
Yes.
your favorite
Yes.
game. You just have it on the background, or you grab some food and watch it. You get
Absolutely.
excited
Yes.
about it. Like I don't know if you follow Pyrocynical. He did a 5 or 6 hour video essay about a British TV show. I forgot what it's called, Utopia, and it was just I've never seen the show, but 6 hour video on it. Just one of those
Utopia.
things. So that's the direction I really want to go into. Do like a 2 hour video essay on, the Canary and how important they are to the
Yeah.
world, and their struggles and how that reflects our reality. Like I went to university and I've got a film degree,
Oh,
and
fantastic.
Louis Theroux is one of my favorite
I love
people in the
Louis. Oh, I love
Louis.
Louis. He's my
Yes.
biggest journal icon. I love him.
I love
Yes.
him so much. He's so
Oh,
honest
he's
and he's not
fantastic.
afraid to ask a question.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with documentary, that's the kind of thing I want to go into. Law's great, and I
Yes,
want
for
to
sure.
continue doing that, but I want to do the documentary side as well. And I have been told that my law videos are like mini documentaries
They
because I
are. That's immediately what I saw when I watched your Dragon Age one. It is so well documented and the footage as well is fantastic.
yeah, it's one of those things like I want to tell it as if it's a real story,
Yeah.
and I don't cross the line of in the Dragon Age world. I do it in Thedas, and
Yeah.
even then, am I saying Thedas right? Is it Thedas or Thedas? I've seen so many people pronounce it differently.
Apples and oranges. I mean, well, not apples and oranges. What is it? Either or either. Like it, it's
It's
like,
one of those
yeah.
things, and I do tell it as if it's a real story because, I don't know if you've watched Loki or,
Yes, I
any
have.
Marvel
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
but
yeah.
if you think of the multiverse, anything's possible.
Yeah.
So
What
it's
if?
one of
Yeah.
those things. What if was a brilliant series.
Yeah. I'm on episode 8. I'm gonna finish it tonight actually.
Have you seen WandaVision?
Yes, I loved One Division. That was
Okay,
probably my
so
favorite.
that and Loki were my top two. Obviously, spoilers for those that haven't seen it, but Scarlet Witch is my favorite character in the whole Marvel
Yes.
in the cinematic universe. Like Agatha was a great character. I'm so excited to see what happens in Multiverse of Madness.
Me
But
too.
yeah,
Oh, to
anyway,
be honest, yes.
in my videos, I always find a way to fall into the multiverse. And like with Dragon Age, for example, I think for a script I was writing, I was thinking, oh no, how can I write this script and also add all of the alternate options and world states that you can do?
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
wrote it into a way of in one reality, the characters did this. In
Yeah.
another reality, they did
Yeah.
this. And in my mind, I was just visualizing that branching universe that you see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Loki, you see all the little,
The little
no beginning,
timelines. Yeah. Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah. That is no. That is fantastic. And the documentary kind of stuff. That's like I love a good video game essay. Today I think I watched one on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, just going through the narrative beats because I always play that game when I do not understand the story at all, and I won't spoil it because there'll be people who still
Assassin's
haven't.
Creed is quite complicated.
Yeah, and the thing is, like the gameplay gets boring after 10 hours, but the story is really good
Yeah,
once you give it a good think and you just sit down and understand and comprehend it. Like it's so similar to Dragon Age in terms of there were previous people who belonged here. They're no longer here anymore, or there are remnants of them, and some of them are still living here today, and they have
yeah,
other schemes. Valhalla. Don't want to spoil it too much, but it's exactly like Inquisition's plot, where you have an ancient person or an ancient mischievous god who is from an ancient time, and they are coming into the modern day. Um, and yeah, those massive, I love to do massive breakdown videos that are like an hour long, and that's what I've been known for in recent memory, and theories are about 40 minutes long. But
yeah,
just to cram like a 2 hour movie video, that is a dream of mine. But it's the time that you need because
yeah.
I know that people hate to hear it, but it is a time constraint thing in terms of revenue. I create content solely a lot for my audience because I'm not earning a lot of money anyway. But you do
Yeah.
also, it is nice when a video pops off and you do get money from it. It is a nice feeling when it's been very well received and you get money from it. And so, yeah, I think for me, doing that sort of video would be something that I would love to do, but it would happen like probably once in 2 months, and I wouldn't have any other videos that I was working on because it would take that long.
Yeah. Like everybody loves a good long form content. I think
Yeah.
when you were mentioning video essays, where I'm not sure if you do the same thing, but when I'm editing videos, I'll have a video essay on. There's a guy called Joseph Anderson.
Yes,
Um,
yes, yes, yes,
oh, I
yes.
love
Yeah,
him. He does
yeah,
these amazing long form
yeah.
videos. There's one he did about a game called The Witness. Never played it, never will play it. But the way he described the game
Yeah,
and the way he went through it, and then he did I think it was a 3 or 4 part series about Dark Souls.
right,
I'm not going to play it because games like that, I I get if I do deal with kind of anger if I'm not doing well in the game, like Crash
right.
Bandicoot, can't play it.
Right, right,
There's a dent on my coffee table where I've just
right.
kind of smacked the controller a little bit. But I think every game has gone through that, so
Yeah,
I can't play these games, but I can listen to somebody talk about it.
yeah,
And so I'll have these long form video essays on while I'm editing videos, and I'll learn as I'm going. Yeah, so I do want to go into that direction.
yeah.
Do a video essay about Dragon Age. I've got notes on my phone now about video essays I'm going to do about Half-Life. Although the last game came out a couple of years ago, and some people do see it as a dead series, it's not. It's the fan base is thriving at the moment. It's absolutely crazy, and yeah, I want to make more content to do with that and video essays. But as we've said, it's working a 9 to 5,
Yeah,
trying to get out your regular
yeah,
content as well. Have a family life.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and
I
yeah,
made a lot of videos early last year when I came back to England, and I just had a lot of time and I didn't have a job because I just didn't want to get a job at that point. I was still working a lot of things for mental health, but I had so much time just to make videos, and it was great. And there was so many videos I made last year that are about 30 to 40 minutes long. Like, I made a video on every character in Winter Nights, and I couldn't do that video now without it taking 2 months because it ends up being about 15,000 words, and then that's just the writing, and then you record it, and then it's all the editing that goes into that, and it just
what do you find takes
takes.
longer? Do you think the audio or the visuals take longer for you?
I think honestly, what takes longer is the writing.
The writing.
Yeah, because I'm
Yeah, the
such a
writing, yeah.
perfectionist in writing, and I'm such a like because I studied journalism. It's more the writing that I want to perfect and the delivery of it. But then
Yeah.
then it's the video, and it's getting the footage, making it look nice because you want it to look good as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say writing for me most, but then it would be the footage. What about
Yeah,
you?
I think for me, I'm because well, we moved into a new place. I think it's about 3 or 4 months ago, and I'm not sure if you can hear it, but my office is super echoey,
Right.
and it's so frustrating. So I bought this, little TP tent thing for kids. I've lined it with sound foam, and I put my microphone in there, and I'm 6'1",
Right.
so
Same.
I barely, and it's so uncomfortable. And so I get through the script, but it takes me at least an hour or an hour and a half
Yeah.
to record the audio for a 30-minute video,
Yeah.
and then it can take up to 6 to 9 hours to edit the audio
Yeah. Yeah.
to get rid of all the mistakes. The visuals absolutely fine. I can get
Yeah.
through a series on Netflix doing the visuals.
Yeah.
Currently watching Teen Wolf, which is brilliant.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I got up to the fourth season of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got to about the same point when just before I left for university, and then obviously uni took over. So then
Yeah.
now I'm older and I'm able to just put background noise on. That's what I just watch in the background. I'm
Yeah.
switching between Teen Wolf and Lost at the moment.
Oh, I love
Uh,
Lost. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I've watched it twice completely, but then, it's been a few years, so I thought I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the best part about the visual edit, but I found a way I get distracted super easily. And so with my writing, I think what I found the solution, basically I've got a VR headset. I basically just do my writing virtually. I put it on, and then I
Oh
And
wow.
move the monitors. I've got images on my community tab as well of how I do it, and I'll find like a nice river in Skyrim, for example,
Right.
and then you can pull your monitors virtually into the world, and you can make them bigger. You can make them
Oh my goodness.
and have like different monitors with like the information and like I've got like my notepad, like all my notes just copied onto a Word document. And as I said, I get distracted easily. I check my phone, but I can't do that in a VR world. So I'm just in, for example, River Run or Riverwood. I forgot which one it is.
Yeah.
And Lydia's just wandering around doing her own thing, and I'm there just writing my script, and it's so easy to focus.
That is fantastic. I've never heard anybody do that. That is amazing.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my goodness. I need to do that. I need to get I want to get a VR or an AR set by the end of this year, now that I do have my own place and I've got the space for it. But that is fantastic. Oh my goodness.
with your VR, I've got the Valve Index.
Right.
Like I had to get it for Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah.
But with just writing the Valve, no, the Meta 2, I think it's called. Basically, it tracks your fingers. It tracks where your keyboard is because I can type without looking at the keyboard.
Yes.
But then
Yeah.
when I put the headset on, I was still messing up, and I realized that I was still looking down every now and then to check my
Ah. Oh
placement.
wow.
So originally, I've got a camera pointing at my keyboard, and that's on its own monitor just to make sure my fingers are in the correct position.
Right.
But I don't know if you played Skyrim, but the
Yeah.
locations you go there are
Yeah.
absolutely stunning, and it's so relaxing.
And the music, the music while you're typing or you know.
And so it's so easy to focus. And so when I do like a Half-Life video, I'll go into a Half-Life location.
That is
Um,
so bloody cool.
it is like I'm the kind of person, as I said, that'll get distracted. I'll
Yeah.
go wander on the flat. I'll go on my phone. I'll go make a break.
Yeah.
And when I'm in there, I'll lose time, and it does really, really help. If you've got the words there, you just type everything out, and it's the same for audio editing. It gets boring editing your
Oh,
own.
bloody yes. Oh my goodness. Audio is the worst. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's horrible, and you'll hear like the little imperfections in your voice that
Yeah.
no one else will notice.
Yeah. Nobody will give a crap. Nobody will hear that little, how you said S differently to nobody will give a shit.
Yeah, but when you're listening to it, my friend, Imaginary Holly, she's a voiceover actress, and I was telling her like it takes so long to do my audio editing. I'll hear these little imperfections, and she said, John, nobody will hear it.
Yeah.
You're just it's a perfectionist thing, I think.
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
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 And so when I'm doing my audio editing, I'll put myself in like a space station and like orbiting planet Earth, and you just do your audio and you just get through it, and it makes it so much nicer. Like I love my office,
Yeah.
but it's not a space station.
Yeah. Yeah. End of the day, it's cool, it's nice, but I could be in space writing or editing right now.
And there's so many locations you can go to. If you know the commands for Skyrim, you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
turn artificial intelligence off or just combat. So you see all these people doing their daily tasks, and you're just there, and they'll look at you as you walk past. And then there's been points where I've gone to reach for something, I've like gone, oh shit, it's not real. And
Get so immersed into it.
never experienced it. Or if you do struggle with focus yourself, I would
Yeah.
definitely advise invest in a VR headset. I think it's about £250.
Yeah.
But for me, I did see mine as an investment because
Absolutely.
it
Yeah.
helps focus so much, and you get to not explore Skyrim, but you get to kind of live within that world for a little bit.
Yeah.
A good one is No Man's Sky as well. I don't know if you played it, but you get to just kind of chill on your own planet and just get on with it.
Have you ever fallen asleep with it on and then woken up in Skyrim?
No, I haven't.
Can you imagine? You're like, where am I? Oh.
You just hear you're finally awake.
Yeah. I actually, you'll need to write down the one that I need to get, because that is something I would love to do and get towards like the end of this year when I do have a bit more money, because that sounds fantastic. The only thing I do is because I get distracted too. Like once I record my audio, like the same when I edit, when this podcast is done, I will just go do something else and relax for a bit. Like I'm probably going to go watch What If or something after this.
Yeah.
Just because you've done the edit, you've done the recording, you want to take a break, and I'll come back to edit it later. But editing the audio is probably one of the hardest things as well, because like you see all these grooves and it's an hour long, and you're like, this video was supposed to be 20 minutes.
For it.
I use Audacity, and then I put it in Adobe Audition to edit to make effects.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I'm still like audio is probably my weakest thing at the moment. I'm still learning it. I've been told it's good, but
Yeah,
I overthink everything anyway.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
audio for me, I said to my friends, it's just it's boring.
It
Uh,
is. It's so
like
boring.
listening to your own voice repeat the same
Yeah.
lines, you can hear yourself get frustrated when you're trying to say a line properly.
Yes. And then you're just gonna be like, oh, I messed that up, or yep, this is the part where I get annoyed. Just delete all this.
While I'm recording the audio, I'll like try and say a line, for example, like as they travelled the vast valley, and then I'll just say it wrong and I go, John, I know you can hear this right now, and you're probably about halfway through the audio. Just get yourself a Mackey's after this and treat yourself because I know you're going to be struggling. And it just messages my future self, and then that helps me through the audio. And I'll go, you probably smiled at that, and I know you did because I'm you in the past, and it just makes me laugh in the future, and I
That's
think that I do it. And yeah, I don't know, that helps me get through my audio because I'm just like,
that's
oh, you know what?
fantastic.
Reminded myself to get a Mackey's, get a Big Mac or something.
Did you hear that the chicken Big Mac's been taken temporarily out of stock?
What? I didn't have a chance to get that.
Neither did I. It's been out for a week and it's already out of stock. They're gonna get more, but it's. I'm like, what? Because it was so high in demand that it's now out of stock.
That can't be at every branch though, can it?
It's been a global but it's been a global announcement. It's been a UK announcement. Yeah, I saw it in the
Oh,
headlines.
as well. Can these years get any worse?
I know. The only thing that I do that I can relate to the emotion of you in Skyrim is when I'm writing, because that is the big process for me. Is just getting in the zone. Because I'll often be like, right, I'll type, right, hi guys, right to here. Today I'm talking about this. But it's the content and the theories and kind of just when I think about Solas, or I'm talking about Solas, there's a certain mood I get into because he is my favorite character, and just
Yeah.
thinking about the potential of him, it gets me in that mood. So I just put on his soundtrack and the Trespasser song. So you've got Dark Solas and the Kunari theme and
Yeah.
the Lost Elf theme, and that is what gets me just writing really kind of just the good shit. I know that I've done a good video
Yeah,
when I've listened to that. Yeah.
the struggle like with having a full-time job is I'm not sure what you do, but if it's office-based, I'm sure
It's
it's
opposite. Yeah. Yeah.
just sitting in front of a computer doing kind
Yes.
of mundane tasks. And do
Absolutely.
you find that when you get home
You don't want
and
to
you
do
sit
it.
in front of your computer, you're just like, oh, I've got to do this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
it kind of sucks the passion out of it.
It does. It's why I am also looking to change my industries. I hope any of my coworkers don't listen to me. No, they don't. I don't. But no, I work in marketing, so it's a little bit more exciting. But it hasn't been the past month. It's been writing, and I don't want to say this right. I love it, but I'm writing reviews on fountain, ballpoint, and rollerball pens. I've enjoyed it a fair bit, but when you are at a computer all day and you're looking into you see the reflection of your soul crushing down when the screen turns on in the
Yeah.
morning, you're just like, and you finish at 5, you yeet home. And I think, to be honest, after 5 p.m. once I'm home, I don't ever go on social media as much because I'm on it at work anyway. When I'm home, I just kind of chill out. And the thing is, like, I've made my own second bedroom into an office, and I'm not in it because I'm already at the office at work. And that's where I'm
Yeah.
like, there's a sense of dread when I walk past it or when I go to the bathroom. I'm like, no, I don't want to go in. But no, I suppose it's just, it's not burning yourself out. It's trying to find a way to fix that. And I think for me, I do need to change my my career path at the moment, which I'm doing. But also just maybe what I've started doing actually is taking my laptop downstairs. So I'll only come in this office to record, but I can at least, because I have a laptop, I don't have a computer, I can just take it downstairs, right downstairs. At least then I'm on a couch, I can, I chill out a bit, put the heating on, and then it just at least eases that environment a little bit. It's not as, like clinical or not as intense. It takes it away a bit. But yeah, that's been something that I've been doing. But no, I honestly feel that pain. It can be a struggle. It's working around it. I think for me though, when we get news, that's when I'm excited. I'm like, right, I'm creating a video right now. I'll be up till 2 a.m. Don't care if I'm up at 6 in the morning. I'll make this video because it's exciting.
Yeah.
And that's when I will be making more videos and be excited. But when we are in a desert for Dragon Age, it is like, all right, there's no rush. I've had a draining day.
Yeah, I completely get that. I think because as I said, I'm in negotiations with my job
Yeah.
at the moment. I'm ready to leave. I've been offered to stay for basically I know I enjoy my workplace. I love my job, but it's come
Yeah.
to the point where I have to choose between them.
Right.
And my boss said to me, "We can give you 3 days a week in the office, and then you can do YouTube on the other 2 days, and you can like have 4 days for that." But it's got to the point where I'm like,
Yeah.
"What do I want to do?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because again, it's that thing of sitting down in an office, staring at a screen,
Yeah.
and then you come home, you stare at a screen, and I think that's why the VR thing really works for me.
Yeah.
It takes a lot for me to, commit, get home, put and tell myself, yeah, you can put the headset on. And as soon as the headset's on, that's it. I can focus.
Yeah.
But it's just getting into that zone where you're writing because you're enjoying it, not writing because you're pushing yourself to do it. Because
Yes. Yeah.
the thing about YouTube as well is you have to be quite tough on yourself to, get it's work at the end of the day. It's
Yeah.
you enjoy it, but it's still work, and pushing yourself and being strict with yourself to, stick to a deadline that you set yourself.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
and it's one of those things which I've definitely been struggling with lately.
Yeah.
I
Me
had
too.
a whole video planned for, uh, basically the way I do it is I post every Monday,
Right.
and so I'll do, for example, this Monday's video was finished last week, and so I'll always have a week in advance.
Right. That's good. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm very prepared. And I've decided for the video for the week after, I've got the script there, I'm just not going to do it
Yeah.
because I want some days off.
Yeah.
Luckily, I've got some days off next week, which will help. But it is just sticking to a schedule and
Yeah.
it's tough when you've got to be your own boss, I guess.
Absolutely. And I'm at the point where I don't have a schedule. Like I don't have a day I release videos that people can expect, which I know is bad because it doesn't feed an algorithm and people don't know when I just go, right guys, I've spent 5 hours in this video after work, it's out now, because I'm kind of that impulsive where I'm like, right, okay, I'm going to make a video today, I'm going to get it done. And I don't even have a schedule. All I do is I have an Evernote with a timetable of when I would ideally like to get this video out. For example, my next video, which is a theory video, I was supposed to get out today, but it's not even been fully finished writing. Because to be fair, I have been writing it, but I'm a perfectionist where I'm like, right, that needs to be changed. That needs to be changed. That needs to be changed. And then there are days where you just go, right, I'm tired. And it just
Yeah.
happens. You need to get yourself in that mentality. And that's why it's so cool that you literally get yourself into another realm because you enter Skyrim. And that is
Yeah.
just a great way to kind of escape I'm in my office. It breaks it up. And it's something that I really want to do because what I could do at the moment is like, I suppose I could get fly cams of Dragon Age and just put myself in the world, or I could put the game on in my second monitor while I'm writing, so at least you get the atmosphere of it. So
Yeah.
you're still getting something, and you can hear. I could go to the Exalted Plains, for example. I can maybe hear the rams going, and maybe a few elves being shot in the distance, something like that. But no, I love that. It's so cool.
It's
But
so different. Again, it was about just after Christmas, and I'd visited Wales to see my family, and I got back and had no motivation, and I needed to put something together, otherwise I wasn't going to post that week. And I just thought, I just don't want to sit at my desk. Like I've enjoyed having some time away from it. And then, do you know I don't know if you're Android or Apple.
I'm Android. I'm Samsung.
Yes. There's not many of us left.
I know there isn't.
Android, when you swipe left, you come to like a Google alerts page
Yes.
where it like gives you news and stuff. And I'm not sure if Google was listening to a conversation I was having with my partner, but I was just saying like, I'm just struggling to focus and stay motivated. And then there's an article that popped up saying working in VR. And I thought, oh, I have a VR headset. Let's give that a go. And I did the same as you. I'd have, the Skyrim soundtrack on. I've got a soundtrack. I've got a Spotify playlist of work music, which is just Ori and the Blind Forest, that kind of music.
Oh,
that helps
yeah.
focus.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, yeah.
It's absolutely. I don't know if you played Ori.
No, but I know the music's fantastic, and that game is just visually beautiful.
It absolutely is. And Ori, again, is a game that I want to dive into, maybe a video essay, a Hollow Knight, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'd listen to that music and like have, a 10-hour video of like a stream in Skyrim. And so it's very similar to what you were saying. And then I thought, okay, let's just go into Skyrim, put ourselves, next to a farm. And it worked, and I got so much done. I think the first time I did it, I went to the rat. Is it the Rat Den in Riften?
Oh,
The
the
theme,
yes,
the
the
Ragaflagon.
rat, the dragon flagon and the rat, whatever it's called. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I sat in there, and I was sitting opposite that woman that changes how you look.
Oh yes, yeah.
Every now and then, someone would just walk past and like say, "You don't know me," and it, and I just did my own thing. It's like I don't want to know you. I'm just writing my script, but like you
Just minding my
forget
own
where
business.
you are. Just minding my own business, and it's just one of those things. Like if you turn combat off, you're not gonna get attacked.
Yeah.
And then when you get a bit, you lose focus. And you're like, okay, where can I go now? And so I went to like a glade, and it's nice and stunning. Obviously, I've modded the shit out of it as well, so it looks stunning. But they're nice work environments to go to. And so then I started editing my audio in there. So I'd have the headset on, which had its own audio, but then I'd have a separate earphone connected to my Chromebook, and I'd have Lost on, and I'd
Oh,
sync the
nice.
audios up, and I'd just use one of the massive screens and put Lost in the world with me, have with Audacity or Audition on it, and I just edit my audio, and it just helped me focus so much.
That's fantastic. I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna look into that. That is amazing. I've never heard anybody do that before. And
If you
yeah.
on my community tab where I've just taken some screenshots from within VR. If you're sitting, I think it's called the Hunter's Cabin in Skyrim,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
where the screenshots were from. And basically, I'd sit on a bench at the side of a bonfire, and there's a hut to the right of me, and I think there's like a hunter man and wife, and as the sun set, they go to bed. As the sun rose, they get out and they'd sit next to me for a little bit, and then they go off and do their daily tasks.
That is
And
so
just
cool.
as the world moves around you, it was just absolutely amazing.
I actually
Yeah,
can see in your community tab here, I can see it 21st of January, where you've actually
yeah,
put it up. I can see that is amazing. I'll actually share this picture in the podcast. That is
yeah.
so cool. How you can see it. Yeah, there's the Hunter's Shack. That is fantastic. I am looking into doing that.
Yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. So, like, as you can see, I've got my monitor, which is what I was writing on, and then I'd have a camera of my keyboard because even though I can touch type pretty well,
Yeah.
I just didn't realize how much I'd look down and just see where my fingers were. Uh,
That is
but
so
honestly,
inventive. Oh, that is so
you hear the
crafty.
river going past you, and I don't know, it just helps so much. And yeah, it's an absolute experience.
I'm definitely going to do that once I get a decent sum of money in a new job. But that is fantastic. I think as a wrapping up question, because we've been going for an hour,
Oh wow.
I know it just has flown by. What are your expectations, or sorry, what's your feelings on Dragon Age 4? What's your expectations or your anticipation? How are you feeling about it with its development and everything?
I'm excited. From the little bits they've shown us, it looks impressive. Obviously, I'm excited for it to be on a new system. It's going to be built looking absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Seeing a world full of magic, getting like kind of closure to the low soulless, whole story point. Like I think the soulless DLC at the end of was it called Trespasser?
Yeah, Trespasser. Yeah,
Trespasser. That was the best DLC that we had, apart from
absolutely.
Corypheus and Dragon Age 2.
Yeah,
Both of them were amazing. So it's just kind of seeing what happens next.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm very hyped for it, very excited, and just looking forward to getting more information. BioWare are really
absolutely.
treating us, as well as a new Mass Effect as well.
Yeah,
BioWare are killing it at the moment.
they are. Yeah, the games that they've got in the works are very exciting. Hopefully, just as promising as well with next Mass Effect, next Dragon Age, and Star Wars, the MMO that I don't play, but I know it's killing it at the moment. It's doing fantastically well, as well, and that's got a new DLC. So yeah, hopefully those good vibes are going to continue for them. But John, thank you so much for coming on the Landsmeet. This has been absolutely fantastic. I don't think I've had a podcast where I've looked at the clock and it's been an hour and it's felt like it's been 2 minutes, because this has just been absolutely timeless. Like
Yeah, thank you for
genuinely,
having me. It's been
absolutely. Like we really, really appreciate you coming on. And everybody, check out John Skyrionn, linked down below in the description, so you can get more Fable, Half-Life, and Dragon Age content. Of course, he's going to be doing more Dragon Age in the future, but if you are just a lore fiend anyway, check out John and his content, especially as he's considering going full-time. But yeah, thank you so much, John. I just want to appreciate it. And thank you, everybody else who has been listening for this to this point. Really hope that you are taking care of yourselves and having a good day. But until next one, I will see you later on. Bye.